So here they mention the distinct, and that word just means different, x-intercepts. So the way you find x-intercepts is you make y 0. And then we have something called the zero product property, which says that to multiply 2 or 3 or however many quantities and get 0, at least one of them must be 0. So if we set each of these equal to 0, let's say this quantity equal to 0, or this one equal to 0, and we'll do the same thing for these other two. And then we can go ahead and solve each one. Now keep in mind the ones that are squared. If you square root both sides, it's just going to get rid of the square root. And normally you'd get plus or minus, but plus or minus 0 doesn't mean anything because 0 is neutral, doesn't really have a sign associated with it. And then if we solve, we just subtract 2, we get negative 2. The other ones are a bit more straightforward. Here we get negative 1, here we get positive 1, and here we get 2. So if we go ahead and multiply, that's what a product is, all those x-intercepts, let's see what we get. Well, first off, do we have an even or odd number of negatives? If we have an even number of negatives, like 2, which we do, or 4 of them or 6 of them or whatever, you get a positive answer because every 2 make a positive. If you had an odd number of negatives, whether it's 1, 3 of them, 5 of them, whatever it might be, if it's odd, you get a negative answer. So we know it's positive, and when you multiply all these in any order, you're going to get 4. Now, even though I think that's definitely the easiest approach, I am also a fan of Desmos, so I want to show you how to use that. So we'll go ahead here, and then if you had any previous functions, we'll go ahead and click the gear icon, delete all, and I'll just type this in. Now remember, you don't have to type in y equals if you don't want to, so I'll just type everything else in, and to do the exponent, you can either click on the keyboard and choose the exponent feature, which is, I believe, a to the b. I'm just going to choose Shift 6. I think that shortcut is a little bit easier. And then you actually don't even have to go right. You can just right away put your left parenthesis. Oh, interesting. I would have thought I did not need to go right. But that's true. If you do a parenthesis, you have to go to the right. So what I mean by that is if I had like just plus, it would drop down for me. But because I need to now type the next parenthesis, I have to press right. And then now I'll do the parenthesis. So x plus 1, and I'll just keep progressing here, and there. And then I'll do Shift 6, and then the exponent of a 2. So if I'm trying to find the distinct or different x-intercepts, I might zoom in a little bit, and then we could just start seeing all these x-intercepts. We have negative 2. If I press this, it'll pop it out here. Over here, we have negative 1, and the way you know it's an x-intercept is the y-coordinate has to be 0. We'll go here. That's one of them, and we'll go here. All right, so we got all the x-intercepts, and then now, let me zoom out a little bit, and then now we're just multiplying all those x-intercepts, and I could actually just come here if I wanted and say, okay, negative 2, so negative 2 times, and I did Shift 8 to be able to do the asterisk symbol, which is multiply, times negative 1 times 1 times 2, and we still get the correct answer is 4.